Hey you guys, welcome back to the horror, with your host with the mostest, Jenna. So I literally just got done watching Crush the Skull, which if you guys may or may not have seen the video I posted last night, I actually received this from my oldest niece Miranda for Christmas. Opened up our gifts last night on Christmas Eve. And she actually, she came across this, like I said, at like half price books, or whatever. I told her like, don't spend a lot of money on me. Go to half price books or something. See if you can find something for me. And she came across this movie, and like I told her when I opened it, I was like, oh my god, I've never even heard of this movie. I'm excited, something new, something new. And when I was reading the description with her and stuff, I was like, oh, seems pretty interesting. Kept my hopes and expectations kind of low because you guys know how I am, or if I have like um at least somewhat of an expectation for a movie, I usually end up don't like it. I end up not liking it. Um, I have to say I was pretty pleased with this movie. Terrific little movie. Nothing spectacular. I won't like sugarcoat it or anything, but decent little movie. It was a good watch. I can definitely see myself kind of popping this in on a fairly regular basis. I'll be honest. I don't know why I feel like I have to hold it like on my face like this. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. So little rundown. And I'll give you guys heads up. There's probably going to be spoilers in this. I'll try not to uh spoil a lot, but I'm feeling I probably will spoil this, so I'm just giving you guys a heads up right now. So if you guys have never seen this movie and you want to, check it out first, then watch me, but whatevs. So yeah, so movie starts out, opens up with like this little girl like in like a room, kind of like a dank type room. She's like, she gets up out of her bed to like pick at some cookies or something, and then she kind of looks at the door, and you can kind of tell like something's up, and she tries to go like towards the door, and then we find out like she kind of stops and realize that she's like chained to the bed. So we're, automatically we're kind of like, okay, this girl's being held against her will. And then there's like banging on the door or something, and she kind of freaks out a little bit, backs up. Door opens and this lady comes in, looking a little like dirty and everything, a little a little rugged up, and come to find out it's this girl's mother, and the mom's like, okay, we gotta get out, we gotta, blah blah blah. So she, uh, mom like turns around to go like run out of the room to try and get help or something, and mom ends up getting killed. Fast forward to, actually, we just kind of, you know, jump to these two people in a van, sitting in a van, boyfriend, girlfriend, Ollie and Blair, and they're kind of like, like I said, sitting in a van, and they're talking and everything, and they're like, all right, this is our last heist. This is it. After this, we're done doing this. So they, go into this house after this person leaves, after this woman leaves, and they're trying to get their stuff, break into the safe and stuff. And what do you know, this lady comes back early, um and like the one day she comes back early, and her and this guy come up to the room and start like fooling around and everything. Meanwhile, Oli and Blair are in the closet. They're kind of hiding in the closet because they're like, okay, well, we gotta wait until they leave or whatever to get out. And then, lo and behold, the husband comes home. So it's just kind of like up shit creek for everyone. So the guy, this lover that this woman's having an affair with, hides on like the very end of the closet. Still has not realized that there's like this other couple in this closet hiding or whatever. Um, and husband's totally like just out of his freaking mind. Like, he's all sweaty and dirty for some reason. He's got a gun in his hand. Um, and then, lo and behold, what do you know? Um, this wife and couple, or this wife and husband or whatever, discover that there's these two other couple, or this two other people in this closet they had no idea about. So they're like, Ollie and Blair are like, oh my god, no, 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 like like, they're trying to make stuff up so that way they don't realize that they were robbing the house or whatever. I think they said like they were swingers or something, and they're like, but we're not the ones like having an affair with your wife. Like we're not. And so they spill the beans. They're like, this guy's trying to fuck your wife. So that all ensues and everything. So Blair and Ollie try and leave the house. Ollie tells Blair like, just get in the van, drive away. I'm gonna try and distract this guy just long enough for the police, so hopefully like no one dies. Well, not the case. Pretty much. The wife and the lover get killed, and the husband's just so, like, jacked up. He's like, you hear, like, the clicking of the gun, and, like, when we see him, he's sitting on the bed, and he's like, click, 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 like, just totally lost it. So Ollie's just like, screw it, I'm leaving. But, of course, the cops have already shown up, bust him, because, he's running out of the house. So, he gets thrown in jail and everything, and his almost said his sister, his girlfriend Blair, kind of busts him out, kind of asks help from like a rival like heist gang, fellow robbers, but of course because they bust him out, they have the power to bust him out. She had to like literally give him everything and more just to bust her boyfriend out. So therefore, she needs to pay these guys back, and like their, asking price, like their fees and everything is like very high. So they're like, okay, we gotta, like, our first payment's next week. We they have to do something. So I guess she calls on her brother to help him find like another place to rob. And Ollie's really not happy about this because, I guess the brother's like just is such a fuck up, total fuck up. Like does not plan out heist very well at all. It's literally like a second grader could probably scope out a heist better than this guy, this like 30-something-year-old guy. But they're kind of like, well, you know what, this is our only option, like, our first payment's next week, and, like, what, do you want to start losing body parts? But yeah, so they, go in and everything, and pretty quickly, they realize, like, just everything about this heist is wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. And actually, the brother's friend even was like, because when he was sitting in the van with Blair, she was kind of like she's kind of starting to realize, like, fuck, dude, like, my brother really just didn't plan this through, he's an idiot, basically. And, like, the buddy, his crew and everything, and the brother's only known this guy for, like, 6 months. But they're like, oh, dude, we've known each other forever, we've been through, it's like, dude, you've known each other for 6 months. You ain't been through shit. But he's telling Blair, like, oh yeah, we scoped this place out, we scoped this place out for like two, and the sister's like, what, 2 months? Tell me you scoped this out for 2 months. And he's like, no, man, 2 weeks. And she's just like, fuck, dude, like, you don't scope out a place for 2 weeks. You scope it out for like 2 months. Like, I don't rob places, but I know you freaking scope it out for more than 2 weeks. So she's just like, fuck, dude, this is like, I gotta go in and like try and fix this. So they get in and everything, and the guy that like owns this place, they're like, oh, well, he's gonna be gone for like 2 weeks or something, or a couple of weeks. He's gonna be gone for a few weeks. So we have time. We can get in, get our stuff, and like long gone before the guy even knows what's going on. But yeah, so pretty quickly they realize that like there's something, like I said, something not right about this place. Just very, Very weird. And then they realize that there's like this whole like basement maze setup and like just like torture chamber type things and all this and like uh sort of like hidden rooms and everything, hidden passages. And pretty soon they realize like, oh crap, like number one, they kind of start realizing that, they're not alone in the house. Um Shortly after that, they realize this guy's never like left the house. He's not even out of town. Like he's still in the house. And then the four of these people, the boyfriend, girlfriend, Ali and Blair, and then her brother and his crew, this other guy, stumble upon this girl that is like tied up and is like being held against her will in this room. She's just totally dirty, just all once again rugged up like the mom that we saw at the beginning of the film. Um, just very like, oh, I need her help, I need her help, and so they try and like break her free and stuff, and they get her free and all this, and then before we know it, you know, this guy's just setting them up, trying to get after him and everything, and but in the meantime, like they realize that they can't like call out or anything, or they can't like communicate in like their earpiece or anything because there's like a blocker, like a signal blocker. So at one point they kind of get like one of them gets to like make like one bar on their phone, so they're trying to call the cops, but it's very like patchy and everything, going in and out. And they're like, "We're at this house, we're at this house. Like, please, there's four of us." And one thing that I loved, because the girl says, she's like, like they're going in and out or whatever. And last thing she said, she's like, I'm white. I'm white. Just trying to like anything to try and like get the cops there. So in the meantime, while they're doing this, cop shows up or whatever. And he's like, "Hey, what's going on? Like, how long have you been here? Not too many, decorations or anything. Nothing really personable in this house. And guy's like, "Oh, well, my wife used to take care of that, but, she's been she's passed away, a while ago, and, I never, cared really to, like, do any of that. It wasn't really my thing." Um, so guys are, like, walking around. He's like, "Okay, okay." So they go outside. They're kind of, like, walking around the grounds, just making sure everything's okay. And then Blair and Ollie end up, like, coming out. They're like, "Oh my God, help us, help us." And the cops, like, point the gun, like, "What the hell? What the hell?" Like, "Are you guys robbing this place? Blah, blah, blah." So the guy is, like, not really sure what's going on. The cop's, like, trying to figure out what to do. Meanwhile, he has them, like, handcuffed to, like, this pillar so that way he can kind of, like, get some sense of order of what's going on. And, you know, like, as they're doing this, this girl that was tied up, like, runs out of the house. And, screaming is all hysterical. And like the cop's like trying to, comfort her and everything. He's like holding her. It's like, it's gonna be okay, blah blah blah. And then she just like, looks in the camera, just all of a sudden like looks in the camera and like literally pulls out a knife and starts stabbing the guy. Starts stabbing the cop, and you're like, fuck, you're like, why is she attacking the cop? Like, what the? But like Ali and Blair are like, "Oh, don't trust her, don't trust her, don't trust her," and it's just like, so they ended up picking the the cops, and it just they're getting away and everything. They had to go back in the house, and it just, I don't know, the whole movie is like going through all this. Um, so yeah, I don't know, like the whole. Sorry, like I realized I was like explaining way too much of the movie. I'm like, you don't really need a play-by-play, but just such a good movie. And I have to say to the friend though, I have to say, spoiler alert. The boyfriend, the crew. He ended up getting killed. Like, he got his like head cut off or something, and they're like dragging the body. They're not realizing the head's cut off, and they turn around. They're like, "Come on, get up, get up, get up!" And they look closer, like, "Oh shit, his head!" And like the girl's like, "You left his head in there!" Like, I mean, a little bit of humor in there. It's very much. I feel like it's a slight cross between like Saw, like not totally Saw inspired, and what's the other one that just came out? Don't Breathe a little bit, but much better. I feel like this is done a little bit better because you're kind of like, for the most part, you're like, what's going on? And we don't really ever find out like why this guy's like keeping like, what necessarily why he has this torture chamber and stuff, and like has this underground like get up and everything, this underground maze, other than just like, okay, he's a weirdo that like kidnaps people and like ties them up. Like that's really all we know. We don't ever really get like an explanation about that, which I kind of like. I know some people might be like, well, that sucks. Like, we don't know why. I don't feel like we always need an explanation for things, and I feel like this movie definitely is good with that, where it doesn't really explain to you like why. So the killer obviously ends up getting killed. Well, I shouldn't necessarily say get killed. Um, the girl though that was tied up gets killed because, like I said, she like goes crazy and she starts like siding with the killer, and you're kind of thinking like, why? Like, why are you like helping him? I would think you would want to get with these people to like get out. Like, it's weird. Um, but we do kind of find out like possibly on that end of like why she sides with the killer. Um, so like the brother towards the end, like the brother and then Ollie and Blair, like they end up kind of like taking back the hostage and everything, and trying to like get even and like stopping this guy. And like they're in like the torture room upstairs, and the guy's on top of Ollie trying to like choke him to death. Ollie manages to get like a chain or something around this guy's neck, and ends up like Blair ends up like flipping the switch and like lifts the guy up and like choking him to death. So we're like, okay, good. And then we're like, well, where's Vivian? Where's Vivian? Like, we don't, is she dead? Are we sure she's dead? And next thing we know, the killer's body like falls to the ground, and they look, and there's Vivian. They're like, oh shit, she's still alive. So she's got the gun, she's about to do something, and then just out of nowhere, Ollie just whoosh, with this little like tiny little like knife that he had found in the torture room earlier in the movie, cuts her throat, and like she turns around, she's like, they're like, did you get her? Did you get her? And then she turns around again, and like blood spewing all over and everything, which is kind of cool. So that a good amount of blood, but it wasn't like Evil Dead type where it's like blood everywhere. Uh, so she then like falls to the ground. They're like, okay, she's dead, and they're looking at the killer. They're like, well, we gotta make sure, like, gotta make sure he's dead. And they're like poking him, like, well, he seems dead. And they're like, well, you gotta make sure. Like in this line of work, we always say you gotta make sure that you're sure on something. So he's trying to. Ollie's got this like lead pipe, and he's like, okay, okay, and he's just about to, he's got it up, just about to bring it down, and then like Blair starts laughing. Like that's her like defense mechanism. Like when she's scared, she just laughs. So throughout the movie, she once in a while she'll just start laughing in like a real serious moment, and that's something I like too, because it's not like overdone with her little like nervousness and her scaredness, her defense, where she's like, it's not like every 5 seconds where it's like, it's done appropriately. I feel it's not overdone or anything. It doesn't get annoying. So he's kind of like, oh, stop, stop, stop. So he goes again, like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then next thing you know, the killer like grabs Ollie's leg. And then boom, cuts to the title "Crush the Skull" at the end, and you're like, so we don't really know for sure, like if the killer necessarily was killed by getting his head bashed in, or if maybe he got his revenge on the kids. We're not totally sure, so I'm thinking maybe sequel to this, maybe. And then it cuts to like a video, like a home recording from like the date on it said like 1995 or something, and this little girl, is like eating cookies. She's very, like the girl from the beginning of the movie, and she's just like, you could tell she's scared. And the guy's like, oh, what's your name? And she's like, oh, it's whatever. And he's like, no, it's Vivian. It's Vivian Thorpe. And you're like, oh, Holy shit! So that's why that girl like stuck up for the killer, because it's literally like she was with him since he was like since she was like a little kid and pretty much grew up in this torture chamber. She doesn't know anything else. She was like 7 at the time, so that's she doesn't know. She doesn't know any better. So sorry for the spoilers. Told you there's gonna be a spoiler. But just an interesting little movie. Good little movie to check out. I recommend at least watching this once, giving it a shot. Like I said, not the best movie, but I definitely did enjoy this movie. So check it out. Check it out. But until next time, you guys, I gotta get ready to go to my bros. My bros. So peace out, y'all. I don't know what that was. But anyway, y'all know, stay creepy and classy as always.